Welcome back to another amazing episode of I'm Sorry Dad podcast. I'm Rydoon.
It's amazing. It's outstanding. It's just great.
It is amazing and outstanding because our guest, Victoria Asher, a.k.a. Vicky T from Cobra Starship and other ventures, is our guest today. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll know that Vicky is sitting right next to us, but we asked her not to say anything during the intro.
Yeah, because
we're trying that out.
We're trying to make it...
We're trying to make it seem more official. Like, we just had an amazing app. Our guest just left.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, she had to go to a meeting, and so we had to... Yeah.
And also, Brandon, we're going to start doing brand deals on the podcast. So I wanted to do a little practice. So everyone listening, because you guys are listening, we've picked up some work, which is a fucking blessing. So keep listening, but we will start doing like a couple of little reads for companies, which makes me feel legit. So I'll just do a practice.
Let's do it.
Today, this episode is brought to you by Ralph, my cat. Ralph is a 6-year-old domestic house cat who's currently obese. And she's really sweet. She's very funny. You can follow her everywhere on social media. Just check out Rydoon's page. And if you use the promo code SORRY, you will get 5% off of Ralph all month. All right, so we're gonna do reads like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to prep people.
Yeah.
You can get 5% off Ralph.
And real quick, I wanted to say thanks to everyone who came to the show this past Wednesday. I talk about it towards the end of the podcast, but it made me very happy. Yeah. I haven't done a lot of stand-up lately, so thanks to you guys for being so awesome. Oh, I told a girl I was going to shout her out. Brandon, say something.
I got a big old bag of balls in my pants. It's a big old bag of balls. Let me tell you something about these balls.
What do we talk about in this episode, Brandon?
I thought you just wanted me to say anything. We talk about Vicky's life as a rock star.
Yep. And also being a female in a rock band.
We talk about veganism. We talk about problems with saying what you want to say
on the internet.
And it's just it's just a fun-filled podcast for the whole family.
It is, yeah.
So grab your grandma, grab your mom, sit down, crack a cold one open, and listen to I'm Sorry, Dad.
That's right. And a girl came to my show last Wednesday, and I told her I would shut her out. I don't know. Basically, if you see me in person and ask me to do something, I'm just going to say yes, just out of politeness. So before I shut her out,
he doesn't actually want to do this, though.
Right? Yeah, I just want to say to this girl that I have no respect for this girl. This shout out means nothing to me, and please don't ever come to my show again. I'm kidding, Diana. This is your shout out. What I just said is a joke. Ralph just spilled a glass of water. But Diana, you're the best. Thanks for coming to the show. She was actually asking me how I was like mentally. He's like, "Are you doing okay?" Because she listens to the podcast. So that was nice. People are getting to know me and you, but you don't show yourself in public, so they won't ever be able to tell you that. They'll just have to tweet it to you in an angry vegan tweet. So, anyways, that's that. Thanks for listening. Find us on YouTube on everything. Yada yada yada. This is kind of a long intro.
Sorry, I just came. Let's start.
Oh, and also follow Victoria on all social media at Vicky T. Pretty much everywhere, right? Right? Oh, yeah. Don't talk!
Vicky. Shut your fucking mouth, Vicky.
Follow Vicky. Give her a shout. And enjoy this episode. And enjoy this song by Vicky T. All right. Bye-bye.
They say it's been a long time coming, and we've all had enough. Something's always bound to happen when push comes to shove. When push comes to shove. I'm gonna be who I wanna be. I'm gonna do what I wanna do. When push comes to shove. When push comes to shove.
And we're back. even though we just recorded an intro, but we haven't yet. Behind the scenes. Should I start over?
No.
We're back with Victoria Asher.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hi. Vicky T from Cobra Starship, and my former lover.
Oh.
It's true.
Although we never made love, but I do. I go straight to making love when I hook up with somebody. I make love, and then I say I love you right after.
Yeah.
Do you cry
that's
too?
good.
I cry during.
Yeah. And after.
Yeah.
And for weeks after.
I love you so much.
I'm still thinking about that night.
Hey, and don't forget we have Lou on here as well.
That's right. We
Yeah.
got Vicky's dog, Lou.
Hanging in the house.
Say what's up, Lou.
Ooh, maybe
Just kidding.
I almost thought that was him.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah. Why does this sound weird? All right, we're good. Sorry, I'm a little groggy right now. I'm tired. I went shredding. I skied on Friday.
Did you really? Where'd you go?
Took a personal day. I went to Big Bear,
Nice.
and I am so sore. But it feels good.
Is it called shredding, or did you just call it that?
It's called shredding when you go as hard as I fucking do, dude.
I understand. Yeah, because people on the mountain were like, "Whoa, we're just skiing, but he's shredding."
yeah.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Oh man, my experience skiing. I went in Switzerland, and this guy I was dating at the time was
Nice.
like, "Oh, like yeah, you're not that experienced, so it's fine. Like we'll go to this hill, whatever." Huge mountain, and I ended up having to slide on my ass the entire way down. It was brutal.
Nice.
Hours. Took hours.
That sucks.
It was so scary.
Yeah, I've been trapped on some slopes, but I was like 3
Yeah.
because like that's when I started to shred.
Yeah, that's why. But you.
So
were
you're saying I'm
skiing.
like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I had a terrible experience. I slid down a whole trail at a Sunday River a trail called White Heat. Started at the top. I just decided to like sit on my butt for a little bit. I meant to, but then once I sat down, I started sliding.
Oh, and then
Just
you
the
can
whole
stop.
the whole trail. I was like 7 years old, screaming like "Ah!"
He's so much funnier.
the whole way down. Just a child. Just, help! Oh God.
It's terrifying. No, the thing was it was terrifying on that mountain because it was all solid ice, basically.
Nice.
So it wasn't like nice, able to ski down, kind of snow. No, just fucking ice.
Scary. But yeah, it was good to go skiing. Oh, speaking of shredding, I heard a kid he was saying goodbye to one of his friends, and as he said goodbye to his friend, he's like, "See you, man." He's like, "Hey, well, at least you can keep shredding." It's like at least you get to shred for the rest of the day. And I was like, "Oh wow!" Like casually saying shredding.
Yeah, casually
Is
shreds.
that when you started using shredding?
Oh, no, I've been using it for years.
I thought shredding meant was like BMX or like skateboarding or something like that. Like I'm shredding today.
It's extreme sports.
Extreme sports.
Yeah.
Anything that involves having a huge cock.
Yeah.
Like Louis.
Like
Yeah,
Louis.
like
here.
Louis.
Yeah, Victoria's dog has a huge dick.
First thing I noticed when he walked in, because I always look at dogs' cocks. First thing.
But for those of you getting excited, his breath is terrible, so it might
Yeah, real
Yeah.
garbage breath.
change your mind.
So definitely not one you would have a romantic evening with. More of just a. All right, let's stop this dog fucking talk, huh?
Speaking of romance, let's wrap up what I hinted at before.
Oh,
me and
sure.
Victoria being lovers. I never made love, but we went on like a couple dates, and then I was completely emotionally unavailable.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys never made love. All right, we're gonna correct that tonight, tomorrow, right now.
Oh, sure.
You just have an
Let's do
orgy
it right
now.
now.
It's fine.
Make
Yeah.
love, yeah.
Make love.
I want to look in your eyes.
Yeah,
love
we
how
didn't
Brandon films it.
even like get like a feeling me up.
No,
moment.
I know.
That was crazy.
Really?
Just like
Yeah,
made
we
out.
I kind of keep it PG-13 for the beginning of things.
Sure.
and we didn't even get to PG, I don't think.
Oh my god.
Like,
Didn't even hold hands.
no, you never saw me in a
Whoa.
bra. No, nothing.
No, we made out,
We made out.
Sure.
but then you were the first girl I like dated after my 10-year relation.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I kind of forget like how I felt, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You were very sweet, though.
Yeah, Molly's nice.
I mean, you're still sweet.
I don't know what happened.
Thank you.
You were very sweet. Don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, and you're the only person I've ever dated who I'm still friends with.
There you
Probably
go.
because I didn't finger blast you, so maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah,
exactly. I finger blasted you at least, so yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Right in my ass. But yeah,
Well, that's nice.
that's that. Now we're friends.
Yeah.
That's good.
We've
Legit
been
friends.
for a long time now.
And you
I
don't
feel like-
remain friends with with girls you finger blasted? You just can't
No,
do it?
I mean, if it's a girl I've hooked up with, I'll be like, yeah, what's up? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't like.
You can't remain like
Why do you
friends.
just
Not like
envision
real-
finger blasting every time that you see them?
Yeah.
After that point,
yeah,
you're like, fuck, no.
just like, God damn
You
it.
just see it the whole time.
Every time you see him, you're like, how are you? Okay, can we just get this out of the way? I have to finger blast you in the bathroom really quick. I just have to get this out so that I can be normal around you.
And then we'll be totally chill. And
Then everything will be
comfortable.
fine. I swear.
I guess I'm friends with one girl, Yanni. Oh shit, she's probably listening.
We
We
Yanni.
didn't date though. I regret just saying that. Fuck,
you mean
It's
your
all right.
friend Johnny?
Johnny. Yeah, no, I don't regret it. It's just it'll be funny because we're talking about girls I've dated. I didn't date.
You didn't date Johnny.
Well, what's
just
up,
finger
Yanni?
blasted her.
Yanni's just a girl I finger blasted.
Nice.
Oh Jesus
I
Christ!
think we should just all finger blast each other on this,
Sure.
on this podcast. That's
Why
kinda-
not?
We should call this episode "Finger Blasting" with Vicky T.
Finger blasting with Vicky T.
All right, sweet. Speaking
Off to a
of
great start.
Speaking of finger blasting, you are a female rock star.
Great segue.
So, did you get finger blasted a lot on the road?
I had plenty.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say finger blasting like guitar. Like that's what like I didn't. I thought you were gonna be clever with that. Like, oh, she was playing guitar. But did you play guitar? Let's get into
I
this.
played keytar.
You played keytar.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's still some finger blasting of a keytar. I
Yeah.
guess.
Sure. Yeah.
In Cobra Starship,
Yep, Cobra Starship.
you
So
guys had like several hits.
We did.
When was your reign? I'm gonna say 2007. I don't know actually. It was like in the mid. 2000s.
Well, so I joined the band end of 2006.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
And the
good.
beginning half of the band, it was actually even more fun at the beginning because we had such diehard fans that would like dress up like us, come to every show,
Yeah.
knew every word.
Keep that
and-
mic out your mouth. Sorry.
Is that better here?
I want to go
Yeah,
one podcast without us going. Get the mic a little closer to your mouth. It's
It's our-
everyone's
Well, 'cause
natural
I-
response is to kind of talk like this.
It's our fault.
yeah. It's always
Yeah,
our
because I
fault.
always worry about the levels that this is too much, but this is good.
It's
Yeah, it's
great.
good.
Okay.
good.
So this is.
It's our
Right.
fault because we don't have
6
headphones.
months in, still doing this. It's all right. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, but so it was so much fun during that time because everyone knew every word and they were so diehard. And then once you have like a big song, you play these radio shows and it's a kind of everyone waiting for the two songs that they know. You know, so
Oh,
it's, a
yeah,
different, it's
yeah.
a very different vibe. You're making more money
Yeah.
during that time.
Sure. Even with
But-
like something like Radiohead, like they make play Creep. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to like play the hits.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's weird too because it's not until you're in a band that you understand why when you go to concerts, you know, like so many times you see shows and you're like, man, I just really wanted them to play this one song.
Sure,
though.
yeah.
You know, like that's such a great old song. But man, do you get sick of playing songs that you've
Totally.
been playing for so long.
Totally.
And of course you change your set list and stuff. And it's not until you're like actually in a band that you're like, oh, that's why they switch up like sets so
Well,
much.
I can only imagine.
What was your biggest hit?
I guess You Make Me Feel was the biggest.
Okay, yeah.
And Good Girls Go Bad, but You
Oh
Make
yeah,
Me Feel
I
was
like that one too.
next.
Did you guys ever get to a point where like a classic band moment was like, I don't want to fucking play that song, and you put on British accents? Was there ever a moment where you guys were like, fuck that song? It's like, or like, we're not playing it.
No, not really. I mean, we'd get like it would. I mean, we stopped playing the Snakes on a Plane song. And,
Yeah.
and kids would always get mad about that. But it was kind of just like, we've been playing for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play.
no.
I'm gonna play some of your music on this podcast if that's
Sweet.
cool. Probably
Of course.
like after the intro, and then
Yeah.
again at the end.
Good beginning and end.
Yeah,
Rye's gotten really good at editing.
Bookends.
This
Yeah.
past since we started.
I've learned how to put in music. But cool. Yeah, you were like a fucking legit like rock star. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what was that
On
like?
TRL and stuff.
So was Cobra Starship was all girls?
All dudes.
All dudes.
Yep, except for me.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
And you played guitar.
Yes.
You played.
So you're a guy.
Yeah, I'm a dude.
So how was that like for you, like going on the road? Because you always hear that. I mean, you always hear that like crazy, like hooking up with a bunch of chicks and getting drunk and doing drugs and all stuff. Like, was it completely different from your perspective, or was it like?
Yeah, I mean, granted, I was with a pretty well-behaved band, and that most everyone was in relationships and stuff, so it wasn't too
It was
crazy.
actually a Christian band, Brandon.
Yeah.
So you don't. We didn't do any of that.
But I mean, Cobras were crazy for sure.
Sure.
But I just mean not in the way of like orgies or something.
Sure, yeah,
happening on the tour bus.
That's a classic stereotype of like that
Yeah.
whole like everyone's gonna do drugs and shit on the
Yeah,
So-
totally. Well, the funniest thing too is like the people that are like dying to get backstage, and then you're like, man, there's like nothing going on back here. You know, it's
yeah.
not like you like get to the dress room, it's like fucking party, bro.
Sure,
Like just shit
right.
everywhere. Like
Yeah.
let's just destroy the room.
Yeah.
And, you know, it wasn't like that. But no, being in the band was awesome, and I miss it now all the time. But I think I in general have a problem in my life though, where it's like there's this grass is always greener problem.
Sure.
No matter what level of success I'm at. So I miss it. But it's funny because the number one question that I was always asked in every interview was, what's it like being the only girl in the band with guys?
Yeah.
And my thing was, thank God I'm with all guys. Because I think if it was like girls, there's so much competition and stuff with girls. I wish it wasn't like that.
Sure.
But in general, there is kind of that thing, or, you know, if you're like going out and say like one guy liked one girl and not the other girl or something,
Sure,
I feel
yeah.
like that there'd be so much more conflict. And with guys, you can be just so upfront and you can just get shit out of the way and then you guys get over it.
Sure.
But I feel like a lot of times, you know, with girls, there's a lot of like holding on to things and not speaking up about things you're upset about. So for me, it was great.
Yeah.
But I also grew up with all guy friends, so for me, it was normal to like be with all dudes.
I
you
guess
know?
that. Yeah.
So you think dudes are dudes? You think guys and dudes are generally easier to be on a tour bus with? I guess, or we get over things
well,
faster.
that's the thing. Is like, what is a
communicate
all
more?
female rock band?
I don't know.
Is there an all female
Yeah.
rock band?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one right now.
Not the Cranberries.
What
Cranberries
about like
isn't
the
it?
Donnas?
The
They were-
Donnas,
they
yeah.
were one.
Donnas.
I don't know if they're still a thing, but wasn't Veruca Salt all female? Granted, I'm
I
like
don't
going
know.
back to these like 90s. 90s
That's
bands, but,
pretty.
the
the
like.
No, I was about to say the Bangles. Bangles weren't.
There
I
is
don't
a
know.
band. There is a band. The Hymns. The Hum.
Oh,
But there's
Hymns,
very
yeah,
few.
they're great.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's very few like all female
Yeah.
rock bands.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm curious what that was like.
Yeah.
You know, on tour with all. You know, it must have been just.
I don't know. There was one. I'm not going to name them, but there was this one band that's an all female band.
Yeah.
But I saw just so much drama and kind of backstabbing stuff that would go on. I mean, granted, there's plenty of drama with guys too.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
totally.
saying that there wasn't.
It's
There's-
just different. It's
Yeah.
it's this almost the same, but it's portrayed in a different way, or it's
Yeah.
handled a different way.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that you
It's
can
more
kind of
brute
just
force
get
with
stuff
guys.
out, and then you like move on from it instead of just
Yeah.
being like, "Ugh, I don't like her, and then seeing her in
Yeah.
person and being like, hey, you look so beautiful.
Sure, yeah,
and then
yeah,
leaving
yeah.
and being like, God, she looks fucking terrible. You know,
It's like
there's
It's funny.
It's
kind
like
of mean stuff like that happens with girls.
Machiavellian compared to like sounds so pretentious, but like what would you call Bonaparte, Napoleon? Like how
Short man
Napoleon was
syndrome.
just like fucking duh, but like Machiavellian was just like behind your back.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we'll forget I just said that. So let's just go forward with it. Let's just completely forget I just said that.
I was rolling with it.
All right.
But yeah, it was great. Fun.
Cool.
Fun. It's fun.
It is fun. You were on TRL and stuff.
Yeah. TRL
TRL
was like
during
a
the
regular
beginning
thing.
of TRL.
Well, this was like, what, 2007, 2008?
Gotcha,
So,
okay.
I mean, TRL had been around for much longer, but it was
Sure.
like still thing. The highlight of that was meeting Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
And he said, baby, you want to have a keytar challenge with me? And I almost fainted.
Nice, dude. Did
I
you
love Snoop Dogg.
did you smoke a blunt with him?
Yes, and he finger blasted me. So it all worked out to my advantage.
Nice. Like he finger blasted you while you smoked a blunt. That's
Yeah,
cool.
on TRL.
On TRL.
Live.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so we were talking before we were recording. Having trouble talking. Was I talking before we were recording?
You were
Anyways,
talking.
we were talking about Twitter and people getting upset because Brandon just posted a really, really hateful and hurtful anti-vegan tweet. And
Oh, God, what happened?
It was just so the tweet was just like God. The fact that I'm bringing this back up, it's just the tweet was about vegans,
being
like a
bad
vegan.
people.
No, it was a vegan ordering a burger. No, a vegan. So a vegan's like, oh, I hate mistreatment of animals. I could never eat an animal. I could never eat an animal. And then the waiter's like, here's your burger that tastes exactly like an actual one. It's
I
not
saw
even
this.
particularly funny. It's more of just this thought that I had about, because I always thought that was weird.
Yeah.
That vegans would buy like buffalo wing flavored tofu.
Yeah.
Or some shit. And I'm like, but why are you getting it why do you want the taste of meat if you don't like? It felt weird to me.
Yeah.
To me, it's like if you said like I would never do drugs, but like you sniffed heroin, you smelled heroin every 5 minutes and like jerked off, but you're like I would never touch it, but you're like oh, that's so good. You know, it's weird to me. So that was just
But
strange
people
to
got
me.
offended by this?
People really got upset by this, and it was like a case of I've never gotten so many replies to a tweet before, never so many quote tweets. Everybody was
That's great, dude.
Yeah, it was great for me to get
Great.
put on a vegan. I don't know who. I think it was like a vegan page. Must have retweeted it or something because it was nonstop, and every single one was the same. It all started with actually, I don't get the point of this. Yeah. That's how I always imagine their voices are.
Yeah.
Actually, and so it just got to be too much, and I was like, it was this battle I was having in my head. I actually went to my friend's house, and Daria, this girl Daria, she's a vegetarian, and I showed her the tweet. I was like, what do you think? Because she's not vegan, but she's vegetarian. So I was like, close enough. I was like, what do you think?
It's really insensitive that you would say that.
Okay, sure. Well, I was like, what do you think? I hate vegans and vegetarians, apparently. I don't know. That's a great soundbite that a vegan page is going to fucking put on a thing. I asked her, because I was like, I need a real life person to tell me if this is bad, if it's whatever. And she saw it. She was like, I get it. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, then I'm keeping it up.
Yeah.
I was like, as long as somebody, because I like Daria, I was like, as long as somebody I like who's a real person likes it, I'm keeping it up. But it was just, I posted it 2 days ago, and 2 days later, the same amount of people just saying like, actually, I don't know what this is supposed to mean. It was just so condescending. The basic outline of every single one was, you're stupid, but that's it.
Yeah.
No reasoning really
behind
it. It was more just like, you're stupid because this is insensitive.
Yeah.
And this ignorance and these big words that people use. And I was just like, dude, at a certain point, this is just, I didn't shoot a cow in the face and fuck its dead corpse on camera.
Yeah.
I posted a tweet about veganism, and I'm one man. Why does this matter to you? You know what I mean?
But this is my problem with so many Twitter things, because everything that you said in your tweet, there's nothing offensive in there, right?
Right.
There's nothing that's actually saying anything bad about anyone's eating choice. You're simply like pointing out like, oh, it's weird to me because why would you want to like taste the taste of meat and still be like, oh, but I would never eat an animal. Right?
It was just
kind
an
of what you're saying.
observation.
But my thing is because I actually read that tweet when you'd posted it, and my response in my head was kind of like, well, for me, I know that I eat things that taste like meat because I desperately want to eat meat, but I can't stand what goes into the animal that I love the taste of.
Absolutely.
So
I get that.
I've stopped eating meat because it's too horrible.
Yeah.
But man, I love the replacements because I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
getting that satisfaction without killing something.
Sure.
But I would never. But at no point did I even read that and think of it in any kind of like offensive way.
Well, there's a self-awareness I feel like you have with your eating. You're like, okay, like you just said, I love the taste of it. I just can't handle there's a moral side to it that I can't be a part of. And it was just because a lot of the people were just like, well, you know that it's actually the seasoning that makes the meat that you like, right? Without seasoning, meat's not good. I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah.
I've eaten chicken not raw chicken, but I caught a chicken from a coop and just ate it. No, I've had grilled chicken before, with no seasoning on it. It's great.
Yeah.
I've had ground beef with no seasoning. Great.
Yeah.
It's just like, so that didn't make sense to me, but it was just like, I got why people would be like, okay, that's a little strange that he would have that thought, but whatever. But just the active, this is just what Twitter is now. If you have an opinion that's not the normal opinion, then everyone attacks you for it. But I guess I just didn't understand why it was such a massive deal to everybody. You know?
Yeah, that's the part that I don't get.
If I said it's like some racist shit, I get it.
Yeah.
But like,
Or if you just straight up said vegans suck.
Vegans suck.
Okay, I can understand.
I get it.
It's a good soundbite I'm going to use.
Vegans suck. But go ahead.
I think, one thing, veganism is a super hot topic, and vegans clearly love to express their pro-veganism, and they're not always nice. But I can see how like your tweet wasn't worded like, "Here's a cute observation." It was kind of like,
Here's a mean observation.
it was like, yeah, it was a condescending tone.
To vegans?
But there was nothing offensive like "fuck vegans." But it was like,
That's the
"Oh,
thing.
here's veganism. Oh, I'll just order this thing that tastes just like it." Pff, idiots.
I
You
can
didn't
see
say
that.
idiots.
No, I can see that.
I'm
Sure.
I
exaggerating.
could see how there could be like seeing like maybe a slight shade to vegans or whatever.
It was a shade
But
to
it's-
vegans in a
but
way.
It's like also, but there's nothing offensive in there. That's
Yeah,
what I
sure.
don't understand. And this thing of like in general on Twitter or any kind of social media is people hunting for something to get offended by is what makes me insane. It boils my blood like nothing.
You mean
else.
like people actively looking for reasons to be upset and
Yeah.
stuff like that? Yeah,
And I think our listeners, we've talked about this a lot.
we talk about it a lot, and it's
But
yeah.
I guess like most people probably don't relate to the way we feel it, just because like we're public figures and we do these tweets. Like I posted a really racy tweet, the raciest tweet I've ever had, and it was making a joke because I don't post.
Yeah, it was like
But one night I posted, all adults who love Disney are insane, right? So I get it, what it's like to really put yourself out there. No, that was like that's like as risky as I get. But what I'm trying to say is, in case you're listening to this and you're bored, Dumpy, come on, it's our lives. So just let us live our lives.
oh, you mean like when we're talking about from the? Well, I feel like a lot of people can.
Time out. I just started talking when I brought this up, then I was like, I don't know where this is going.
that's fine.
That's kind of like me with the Machiavellian
that.
thing. I had no idea where I was taking that either.
All right, bail me out.
But all I will say to this is that I feel like everyone is thinking these things of like being afraid to just talk about anything. You know what I mean? Like anything. Like it's a little weird that this is happening with this vegan. It's not even weird. It's just like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I support if vegan. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I
Yeah.
don't care I don't care what your habits are with eating. But it's just like it's just that as with anything, if I see something that's a little like, oh, that's a little strange, I want to talk about it. I want to say something about it. But like people if it's not the norm, then it's like they just completely freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just kind of how it's been since
Yeah.
the beginning of man. It's just like you have, I'm not like that, not new ideas, but just like little observations. People like they used to kill people for that shit back in the day.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the same, but now it's just a little bit more condensed. And now it's less violent, but it's still the same mentality, the pack mentality of like, he's saying something or doing something that's different.
And everyone
kill
jumping
him.
in on it.
Yeah. He's doing something that's different. Like, I'm pretty sure what was that guy, Van Gogh or like Shakespeare? Didn't they have a lot of problems? Because they were like,
people didn't like Shakespeare.
I'm not comparing myself to these people at all anyway, in any way. I swear to Christ, I'm not. But all I'm saying is that they
Christ
did something.
as well, dude.
God, you said Christ.
Jeez.
But
Jesus. I didn't even mean to say that.
but I'm just saying that it's just odd. This behavior.
I was starting to go into it a little bit before we actually got on the podcast. But I personally think in general with any subject that this no tolerance thing is what really makes me insane of not being able to like talk about things or if you don't understand certain terminology or the way things have changed or anything, that you should be able to ask these questions and say like, okay, like if I shouldn't call someone this, like what's the right terminology? And you should be forgiven for asking that question. I don't think you should be attacked like, oh my God, this person's horrible and clearly hates this type of people or whatever. Instead of just having like a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I guess is what like I don't there's this amazing article in the New York Times that was about the whole Me Too movement that is written by a woman, and she's saying like, oh, it was right before the Golden Globes, and she was saying like, oh, we're going to the Golden Globes, and everyone's going to be wearing their black dresses and this and that, but there are plenty of us that do feel that this is happening the wrong way and that there's a better way to go about this stuff. But we're all too scared to say anything because the second we kind of say a differing opinion, we're all jumped on and attacked and considered anti-feminist and considered that we're on the side of rapists and all this crazy stuff, which is not the case. Like it's I think there's plenty of situations where I personally, might get hated on for saying this, but I think there is a serious difference between someone that tries to make a move on someone or someone that like maybe grabs my waist or something like that, and I reject them compared to someone that's a rapist. And this is where this no tolerance thing comes in of like, I can't remember what school it was, but there was this incident, for example, on a campus where it was a no drug policy, like a no tolerance drug policy. There was a girl who had menstrual cramps and asked her classmate if she had anything for it. The girl gave her a Midol. That girl got expelled for giving a Midol because it was a no drug policy, and Midol is a drug, and it was considered that that is there's no tolerance for that crap.
What about fucking Tylenol?
That's what I'm saying. No, that would have been the same thing. You would have been in trouble for the same kind of thing.
Antibiotics.
And I'm saying though that I feel like that is the same with this situation. Like we can't have conversations and that there like really there's not a difference between someone that maybe tried to kiss me or tried to do something I didn't want to and I said no and then they stopped. That's very different
that is
from
so,
someone that has forced me and is like forced me to have sex or whatever.
Sure.
But it's like this thing of like, oh no, he did this thing. Oh my God, he's written off forever. Like there's no tolerance, and it's crazy.
And also the whole a guy trying to kiss a girl and her denying him. That is so common.
So common. And my thing though is that the part that I don't like about it is I'm like, man, if I were like a teenage boy during this time, I'd be so confused and so freaked out about like, shit, like I like this girl. I don't know necessarily if I'm picking up on the right thing. Like, I mean, are guys gonna then just have to be like, hey, can I kiss? Oh, sorry. Elbow.
Sure.
I touched your elbow.
Yeah.
Is that okay if I touch your elbow? And can I kiss you?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah,
I want a guy to grab me and kiss me, and if I say no, then he stops.
Yeah.
Like that's the conversation.
But that's not now he's a rapist. It's now he's a guy that like wanted to do something and sensed something and then it didn't work out. But this is the thing. It should be this. It should be try to kiss if the girls want it. No, and then the guy should feel embarrassed. Yeah. And then maybe the date should end. Yeah. Because that's an awkward thing. Yeah. or it continues. Who knows? But it shouldn't. I've read some things about like guys that like continue to try. Yeah. That's a little. I mean, obviously, don't do that. Yeah. But like, if it's just a one thing and it's like, okay, got it, then and now it's done, and I won't try it again, then. There's nothing wrong with that, but I know what you're saying. It's like, that's the basis.
To me, I wouldn't go, oh my God, I'm a victim of sexual assault. Sure. This guy's put his arm around me.
Sure.
Oh my God, rapist. Yeah. Like, that's insane to me. And a lot of these women, though, are doing this. And I think that's crazy.
But I only am saying this to play devil's advocate. I think let's say a girl's at a bar and there's just some rando that like puts his hand on a girl's waist. Like I wouldn't call it, it's not rape, but it's like, it's just weird and creepy and like that's fucking strange, especially if it's a guy you're not talking to. You know what I mean? Like if it's a guy that like, I feel like guys don't understand this like dance that there's like a delicate dance that you're supposed to play with this. It's just like you gotta talk and you have to talk. You have to I hate to use this word, but vibe with this person and then gauge whether they're into you or if they're not. And but you should be able to be smart enough to understand if they are or not. Yeah. And then if they're not, if they're not, then leave or attempt to kiss and then really find out and then go. Or if they are vibing with you, then kiss and then everything's fine.
But some guys are just creeps. Yeah. And don't care.
Some guys are creeps, but there's
rules.
also I also think though that there's the guy that doesn't pick up on social interactions and can't totally read a situation and goes for something and then it's not right and then it's like okay I'm awkward.
Totally.
And just for example, on New Year's Eve, my best friend Darian, who you know very well, we were hanging out and we're standing over by the bar. And several girls kept like squeezing by, and every time they'd go by, they'd grab his waist. And he was like fine with it, whatever. He was just like, it's just funny to me though. He's like, if I were a woman and a guy was doing that, I could freak out and be like, this is sexual assault.
Sure.
But I think though that there's times where I've sometimes gone by someone. I'm not a particularly touchy person like that, but I have before sometimes like gone like that or something to someone. And I don't know. It's such a complicated thing. I just think there should be like some sort of talk about it in like maybe an educational way though, of like, yeah, if you're a girl and some guy invites you to his hotel late at night to have a drink, maybe don't go. I mean, generally it kind of goes in a sexual direction.
What I think this is
Not necessarily like a rape direction.
Right,
I'm
right.
just saying that
He's
don't be shocked if
wants
if
to
he
have
tries
sex with
to
you.
do
Yeah.
something with you.
what I think is happening is it's a lot of change happening very fast, and I think that when that happens, there's a lot of hysteria, and I think a lot of people just get really emotional and hysterical about something. What this is supposed to be. This movement is supposed to be like, hey, there are guys out there that are fucking rapists, and there are a lot, and they haven't been like shown to be that, and they've lived their whole lives destroying other people's lives with their actions, and we're exposing them now, and that's good. It's good that that's happening. Obviously, when that's happening, there's so many of those cases that lines start to get blurred, and people
Totally.
start to go, but that mixes in with the hysteria. People are like, oh my God, this guy, Harvey Weinstein's a rapist, so that must mean that like Louis is a rapist too. Like they just, cause it's just rapes on the mind. It's
Yeah,
weird.
and poor Louis C.K. came at that whole
Yeah.
thing came at the worst time where,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a weird case of like, it's just I think what's going to happen is right now for like a year, it's going to be this weird, it's going to be like ground zero for sexuality, like just sexual fear. And then I feel like it'll get a little bit better. I feel like people start to go like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially when so many of these cases come out. I feel like even now people are getting rape fatigue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
rape fatigue, like of people going
What
like,
story's happening now?
what story's happening
yeah.
now? And then they read it and then they're like, well, that's not rape. And people are forming their own opinions on it. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's not that. That's
Yeah.
that's a weird, creepy, or not even sometimes, not even a creepy. It's just like that's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And then and then people are starting to realize, because at a certain point, it's like oversaturation of anything. Remember the video game Guitar Hero?
Yeah, totally. We used to have competitions with fans on our tour bus.
Yeah. I loved Guitar Hero, but Guitar Hero came out with a new video game every 5 months.
Yeah.
Every 5 months, and then people are like, "Oh, I have to buy the new game, and I have to buy the new thing, and that."
Yeah.
And then people just like, "Fuck Guitar Hero! I hate Guitar Hero! I don't
Yeah.
want to." And then Guitar Hero failed.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not saying I hope that this movement fails. I
No,
don't.
no.
I hope
think
it stays.
I hope it regulates.
I hope
and
it
kind of
regulates.
makes more sense.
That's
you know?
it.
Yeah.
I hope it.
it's not so extreme.
It's. I think it's necessary, but I also think that right now it's the hysteria phase of it.
Yeah.
And once the hysteria phase passes, then regulation. And then people are like, okay, this is good that we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to
Yeah.
get immediate rational conversations in the beginning.
I
I
totally
mean, I think
agree.
there's a lot of like great, interesting conversations that have come from it.
Sure.
I'm also like kind of at the point where I'm exhausted with all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just it is, I don't know. It's such a difficult thing to figure out what the answer is, because there are times where like, yes, this person could be a absolute piece of shit. Okay, this guy's a total creep, piece of shit, whatever. But if he says to a girl, "Hey, give me a blowjob and I'll give you this thing," and she goes, "Okay, I kind of want that thing. Yeah, I'll give you a blowjob."
Sure.
She did agree to do it,
Sure.
right?
Right.
He's
Sure.
a creep. I'm not saying he's some great person that what his behavior is fine.
Sure.
Not at all. But there was an agreed thing between the two of them. And then it's like, well, then when is it like buyer's remorse afterwards? Where you're like,
Yeah.
I sucked that guy's dick, and then the thing that I got, it's okay. It's not that great. I kind of want to destroy this guy.
Sure. Yeah, I could see
yikes.
that.
And it's a pretty tough. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just think there's so many
it's a
sides
line.
to things, and there's so many women that take advantage of their power as well.
Sure.
So there's always going to be shitheads.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I also think it's good. There's some sort of conversation about this. I
It's
don't
a
know.
conversation, but as with any conversation, it's not.
It's
It's not regulated yet.
Right. We're changing a lot as a culture rapidly. I
Yeah.
feel like more than ever, probably in large part social media. Everyone's aware of everything that's happening.
I know.
And we're also going through this sexual evolution where women are getting more rights, which is great. And we're calling out rapists and stuff. But we're in the beginning of it and we're not good at it yet.
Yeah.
And it's fucking ugly and clunky. And we're all just like, I think this.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. I don't know what I think.
But I'm
But it'll
also
work
like,
out.
I mean, maybe it's just a personality thing though, because in general, I'm someone that's like I kind of like stay in the middle. I'm not super extreme. Like, you know, sure, I'm a feminist in certain ways, but like if a guy opens my door, I'm gonna be stoked that a guy opened my door. I'm gonna let him open my door. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go, I'm an independent woman. I got the door
No,
myself. Fuck off.
That's
you know?
a particular kind of person. That's just
But
a person
I think that
that's
some of that
shitty.
stuff is happening with some
Sure.
of this. Like,
It's funny.
It's just so
There was a
explosive.
National Men's Day on Twitter like 4 months ago or something. I think it was just some made up Twitter thing.
Sure.
It was a
I
hash-
think you tweeted something, right? You
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
this. What was
I
it again?
tweeted something like, I don't feel. I forgot what it was. It was just like, the National Men's Day doesn't feel genuine.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hated right now.
They were hated or something. Yeah, I remember that.
It's because that night before, the morning of, so like 1 a.m., I did a stand up in San Diego. Me and a comedian met some girls. We went back to their house, just friendly. Like we weren't trying to get with them. And it might sound rude, might not believe it, but these girls weren't very attractive.
Yeah.
So we're just having a good time. That was rude.
Whatever.
But I just want to prove like we weren't trying to bang.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're all laughing. We're all laughing and stuff. We're all buzzed and stuff. And I say some random joke where I had the word bitch in it. And I've said like way worse things already that night. And then one of the friends just clicked in her head. Was like, "What did you just say?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I don't know. I already forget like something. This bitch is crazy." He's like, "Yeah, no, you can't say that. Get out." So that we got kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, see, I think that's giving our sex a bad rep.
yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, man, that's ridiculous. My friend was dating a girl who he just said he's like, cool man, bitchin'. And her and
yeah.
her friends got offended.
Oh yeah. You
I
told
was
me
like,
that.
are you kidding?
Yeah.
I think this guy's kind of still slightly sleeping with this person still. So I'm like, I'm not going
Alright.
to name them, but you know who it is.
Bitchin',
okay.
But it's like getting offended. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
Isn't it like, don't you get exhausted getting that offended by everything in your day?
I'm
It's
now
insane to me.
I'm now thinking of when I said like they weren't attractive. I'm thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. That was mean. and,
Oh,
like,
I'm thinking the same thing of that I just screwed myself with the blowjob thing, but
Well,
I
see,
do
that's
kind
the
of believe
thing is
that though.
that-
We all make choices, and there's plenty of creeps that. I don't know.
I just find it funny
It's
that
hard.
you guys are
I don't know.
second guessing what you just said 5 minutes ago.
I know.
It's like why? It's like I understand.
because these times are hard. and-
I know they
Because
are,
people
but
just
it's,
flip out.
It's
Their brains explode.
I think it's this is how I deal with this because I have like the same mentality of like I'll say something and then I'll be like, fuck, wait, was that not something that was supposed to be said? I'm like, no, it was, because that's what you thought.
Yeah.
And you know what? If not every person agrees with every person on everything, and if a lot of people hate you for it, fine. If a lot of people agree with you, fine. But I mean, that's at least you're saying what you want to say. As long most people have a moral compass. Most people know what's right and wrong. And in these times, it's like that gets so blurred. Right and wrong. It's just there's so much gray now that it's like saying something that's even something positive gets misconstrued as hate. And so at a certain point, you kind of just have to go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
When I went the vegan tweet, I should have been like, I should have kept it up I wanted to keep it up as a statement. I was just getting annoyed.
Yeah.
I was annoyed. I was like, I don't want to keep going through
That's
my
what I get
mentions.
annoyed. I get too annoyed by like
Yeah.
stupid comments where I just
Sure.
go like, "How can you be
Yeah.
this stupid?"
Sure.
Like, I'm so angry, and I
Yeah.
want to like try and just talk to the person. I've actually, literally, I've sent to people that were like tweeting me all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That was so much more hateful than anything I've ever said online.
Yeah.
And I just said, hey, like, can you send me a DM? Give me your number and I will call you right now. And I've had phone conversations with people on Twitter and been like, okay, you're sitting here saying all these hateful things that are far more extreme and far more insulting than anything I've ever tweeted in my life. Do you not see that? They're like, well, I thought that you were attacking this type of person. And I'm like, but I wasn't. Like, I was like, where do I say that in the tweet? And then
Sure.
they go, oh, well, yeah, I guess you weren't.
Here's the thing. That's so interesting you say that.
Wow.
Because so I replied to one tweet about the vegan thing. And the comment was, because I think I said something about after the vegan tweet, I tweeted like having a superiority complex about what you eat. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you shove kale up your ass because every person, dies. It's a very nihilistic tweet, but I was like, okay, whatever. That's just, I was upset.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my follow up to this. And somebody somebody tweeted at me and said, yeah, you're right. Having morals doesn't matter. Everyone should just rape and murder each other because it doesn't matter. We're all going to die. And I actually tweeted him. I said, I never reply to people, but this is the dumbest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
And congratulations, because this never happens. And then we got into a thing, and they were like, well, no, I was just trying to use your analogy in a different light. And I was like, but the analogy you used,
It's so extreme.
It was so extreme that it doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's too extreme.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, this. And then I said, I basically said, look, I'm going to stop talking to you because I'm upset at you, and I'm very upset at myself that I'm upset at a stranger.
Yeah.
I don't know you,
Yeah.
and you probably are fine in real life.
Yeah.
But I can't keep doing this because I don't want to feel this towards you.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a conversation. This is hate spewing the hate, and we can't keep doing this. And they said, okay, you're right. I was having a bad day anyways. And that, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, and then I was like fine with it. Once I like kind
Yeah.
of squashed it, I'm like, oh, okay.
What?
At least there was some rationality here.
Yeah, what he said about I was having a bad day anyways.
Yeah.
I was like, that's most people.
Yeah.
Like, that's most people when they get up in arms about a thing.
Yeah.
Most people are just having a shit day
Yeah.
or a shit time, and they see something and they go, fuck, that is in
I'm
a
gonna take
normal,
this all out on that.
Yeah, in a normal day, that would be, I would ignore that. But today, I'm fucking furious. So I'm going. I'm doing it because I need this. And so I was like, okay, now that makes sense. Whenever somebody gets very upset at something I said, I'm going to assume that they're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
And that this is coming from a place that's bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's not just about me. It's about their thing that they got going on.
Totally.
So, yeah.
And their insecurities and all. But
Sure.
I'm obsessed with Ricky Gervais. I think he's one of the most genius people ever.
I like Ricky.
I
Like I know him.
he did this
Like I know him.
this stand-up show though, but it was the funniest thing. There was a moment where it was just so relatable where he was like, because he gets into shit with people on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see when he like replies at people that just say the dumbest, craziest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's talked about it in his stand-up where he's like, I posted this tweet and I just went and like had a sandwich, was going about my day, whatever. And then I looked and it was just explosion of everyone's insulted, everyone's doing this. And these people are just writing these insane things. And he explains like one of the comments someone wrote. And he said that he's like, I'm walking around my room just going, just leave it, just leave it, just leave it. I can't stand this stupid comment. And he'd like respond to it. And it's, I don't know. It's just so
Yeah.
funny because I go through the same thing where I'm like,
Yeah, just
let it
leave
go.
it.
It's like a total stranger. Like,
Yeah,
just
who cares?
get over it.
Yeah.
But then you're like, but that's so stupid.
Yeah. I have to say something. Yeah. And trust me, I'm the same way exactly the same way with that guy. Every comment I was like, okay, I kind of expected this.
Yeah.
But then that one comment made me go, holy fuck, something has to be said.
Yeah.
And then I was so happy I talked to that guy.
Yeah.
Because it didn't end with vitriol. It ended with, the guy even said, he was like, hey, I'm actually a fan of your work. You just said this and it upset me and I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so fucking great. That's going to help me so much.
Same.
with
It immediately like
understanding what's
relieves
going on.
the
Yeah.
tension of like,
Totally.
I'm immediately like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah, cool. We're fine.
Yeah.
Now, is that interaction a good thing? Did either of you benefit from that? You benefited from the
Revelation.
the conclusion, but does
Yeah.
that like, is anyone learning any? Like, what if there were no comments on the internet? I think the world would be a better place
Oh, totally.
if comment sections didn't exist.
It'd be great.
Yeah, it would be
but
pretty sweet.
great.
Yeah, I think so too.
but unfortunately, we just don't live in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like the phone conversations in particular, because it's so much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing the phone conversations
Sure.
because for me, like you try to write it in all these comments, like kind of saying like, wait, but what in here is insulting
Mm-hmm.
you? Like, what are the words that are bringing you down? What are you getting triggered by?
Sure.
And then they just be like, oh God, here you are doing that, and they just
Sure.
keep
Yeah.
attacking. But on the phone, it was kind of like, what did I do that was insulting? Well, I thought you were saying this about this. Blah, blah, blah. Where does it say that in my tweet?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, you didn't really. And I'm like, so why are you saying these things that are so much more hateful and extreme in response to that? Isn't that just like making this a worse
Yeah.
problem instead of having just a conversation?
Yeah.
And everyone just chilling the fuck out.
I think every person.
All of us are mad about this though. I mean, this is a conversation that I have with so many people. Like, so I think everyone suffers from it. Even that person that's freaking out and getting triggered is probably annoyed by all this. I don't know what the answer is.
I think
Everyone
everyone
just shut up.
No, I
Right?
mean, like, I think everybody should be allowed. This might be weird that I'm saying this. I think everyone should be allowed to have freedom of speech, but not freedom of text.
Yeah.
I think that everybody should say what they want publicly.
Yeah.
If they want to say stuff publicly in life, do it.
Yeah.
Freedom of text, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
It's too
yeah.
much. It's too much.
I agree.
And everybody, because freedom of text is what you just said, is exactly what you just said. It's when you're dealing with text, you have to make every word pop. If you're feeling angry, make it furious, make it fervor, make it all these big words.
Use the biggest,
Make you say
smartest
stuff
words.
you don't even really
Smartest
mean.
word.
Like, I
Biggest,
don't even know what I'm
smartest
saying.
word that you just looked up in fucking a dictionary.
Yeah.
Use that word.
I hate that.
And it's not there. And I don't know if it ever should be.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know if we should have freedom of text, 100% freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I'm always an advocate for that. But also at the same time, I don't fucking know.
I'm with it. Freedom of text. I like it.
Yeah, sure.
Or anti-freedom of text.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's all
Well,
bullshit.
now that we all have that in common.
Let's all fuck.
Let's all finger
Let's
blast
all
each other.
finger blast each other. Oh my God.
I do have to pee, but we're not done yet. I'm still having fun.
Okay, we're having fun.
Are you having fun, Brandon?
Yeah, having fun.
So now that we've got all our anger out of the way over the Twitter world, what's been going on, guys? What's happening in your lives?
Not much. Just it's a lot of depression.
Are you feeling
All
better
right, we
these
should
days?
end the podcast.
No, I'm feeling a lot better than I was during the depression episode.
Good.
Yeah.
And, like,
you're
skiing.
rock bottom then.
The skiing was, I kind of was. Well, no. I bet it can get worse. Let's find out.
That wasn't a challenge I was posing.
No, yeah, I went skiing, prescribed to for my therapist. I'm seeing a therapist.
All right, tell me.
This is getting redundant. This is the last time I'm mentioning my therapist. I said that last time.
Yeah, you said that past
But,
two episodes.
But the skiing was cool. I was like, oh yeah, I love skiing. Haven't done this in.
That's
I go like once a year, family trips, but that was more like a family trip and less about like, let's think about skiing and how much I love it. And
Yeah.
so that was cool. But now I'm back in Hollywood, so I'm miserable.
Haven't you guys been doing a show or something? Haven't you been writing like a TV show or something? Right? No? Yes?
We're doing
No?
separate.
Oh, yeah, we're doing two
separate
separate
things.
ones, yeah.
Cool.
We were actually talking about that before you arrived. He's very stressed about his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's finished, so I'm not stressed about that. But I understand why he's stressed about his thing.
So you're in the chill out mode. Like, I just completed this. Now I can.
Yeah, I can. Well, not
Kinda-
relax, but I can start writing something else and not focus on this thing anymore.
Yeah.
But he's right now still focused on his thing, and it
And-
sucks when you're in it.
And,
Yeah,
and
totally.
throughout the writing process, I've done way less stand up, which I did a stand up show last Wednesday. Oh, by the way, thanks for coming out, everybody. I didn't even want to do this show because I didn't promote enough. I dropped the ball on promoting because I was been writing so much.
I wanted to come so bad, by the way.
I still could have promoted. I just didn't. I was like, I choose to work on this. I'll promote that tomorrow.
Sure.
Then that just kept going.
Yeah.
But the stand up show was great. And a small audience, but like really passionate, very loud. And all the comedians had a blast. And it made me very, very happy. Adrenaline rush, dopamine. I was like, I need to do more stand up. Then I was like, fuck you, writing.
Yeah. It's hard to do both.
So throughout this writing thing, I've been doing a lot less stand up, which I'm sure is adding to like feeling sad. And then with skiing, gave me the same exact feeling stand up does, like killing on stage.
Oh, good.
Like I went off like a big
Killing
jump.
on the slopes.
Shredding. I was shredding, went off a big jump, got big air. And it was scary.
Sure.
And it's like, this might not work out.
Yeah.
But it works out. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. It's like the same exact feeling as stand up.
Well,
so,
you and I kind of talked about this a bit when we were talking about that both of us have been dealing with depression and stuff. That that it's hard when you are someone that like goes on stage or you get attention from other people, and to not have that anymore. That kind of immediate like, you're great. Everything is great. Like, oh, we're sitting here watching you. We're worshiping the ground that you walk
Sure.
on, and we look up to you or whatever.
Sure.
And then you leave, and you're like left without that. You're like don't have that high of the
Yeah.
attention of like a crowd afterwards. It's kind of dark.
yeah.
And also, I think even just, I mean, I would think that like coming from like the Vine stuff, and then that suddenly ending, and then figuring out your next chapter. It was like similar as far as the band. Like the band was 10 years of my life, and I, knew myself as Vicky T from Cobra Starship, and suddenly it was like this open world of like,
Right.
what the hell now? Like, what the hell am I doing, and what am I transitioning into? Like, what's going to be my next plan?
Yeah.
And that's so scary and dark and worrying, and
That was 2017 for me. It's just like,
Yeah.
Vine's gone. I'm like, okay, what now?
yeah.
So yeah, similar.
Yeah, but then I think that you go through the hard part of it, and then you kind of like figure out a way to rebuild and find ways to make you happy outside of just playing, whatever, doing shows every night or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I don't know.
And welcome to the podcast. That's this podcast is a result of my pure fear,
That's good.
fear of failing.
So there you go.
No, it's mostly because I've always wanted to do a podcast. But wait, what am I saying? Yes, hobbies. I haven't done a hobby in like years and years. Skiing. I love to ski more than anything. More than comedy. Well, actually, I just said it gives me the same exact feeling. Whatever, it's different. But I love to ski, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta ski. I learned like I gotta ski and do stand up. In the past like 3 months, I haven't been doing any stand up, almost none. So good to know. I had a revelation on the slopes, dude. It's midair.
Did you haven't?
No, not really. No.
Right as I was going on.
I want you to write a book called Revelation on the Slopes.
All right.
That sounds awesome.
That's really good.
Revelation on the Slopes by Richard Bachman.
Richard Brackman.
Richard Bachman.
But it also could just be like one of those books where it's like a quote on each page, like those ones where it's just
Sure.
like little like make you feel happy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Revelations on the slopes. Today I hit
The Slopes.
slopes.
Tomorrow.
Ryan Dune.
Yeah.
Next one.
Each day is like a snowflake.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, or some shit.
But it used all like a ski terminology.
Yeah.
I lived in Jackson, Wyoming for a winter, just shredding the gnar. That's one of them. I learned some lingo from the bro bras.
Shredding.
So the book would be like, today I shredded the gnar. It was epic. Or like, tomorrow there's a system coming over the Casper Ridge. Should dump on us at least 12 to 16 ounces.
That sounds like how I imagine. You ever play the game Crazy Taxi?
Yeah.
That's how I imagine every citizen in Crazy Taxi talks.
Wait, the
Shred
video game
nard.
Crazy Taxi?
You remember Crazy Taxi?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fucking love that game, but it's just so
used to play
like
that on tour.
so Offspring, like yeah,
yeah.
like that plays and you just go and everyone has those like the early 2000s hair.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like shredding the nard, dude.
Frosted tips.
Frosted tips. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
reminds me of
the lingo out there. Crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm happy for that.
God, my brain isn't working very well yet today.
Hey, your
Keep on-
brain's working fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Okay, thanks.
You get a thumbs up.
I had a point before Brandon fucking interrupted me.
I'm
with that
sorry.
stupid taxi bullshit.
I'm sorry, dog.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'm
Are
sorry.
you guys gamers at all?
I used to
general?
be a huge gamer.
Oh,
Yeah?
I wanted to ask you
Oh, yeah?
what you've been up to. Or like
what have I been up to?
what the next thing for Vicky T is.
So over the last year, I've been working very hard on starting a company, and it's called Muted Color. It is a record label, but it is now also a kind of media services company to assist different artists in getting like various different things that they want accomplished, like whether it's like putting out stuff and having the right team behind them.
So like a management
And-
company almost.
Kind of. I mean, so it's not fully molded yet, but it's pretty close to being there. And I brought this amazing, very talented guy, Asif, on board, who has been taking over the label and just has more of that business mind that I do not. Like I'm definitely more the creative, and he is very good at balancing both the business side and the creative. And
Nice.
and I have about 34 songs that I'm sitting on that I am going to release an EP.
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
And I have a
That's
song coming out in March.
double album, basically. Oh, it's a lot of songs.
How many
Yeah, I
are you
know.
are you gonna
I
release
know,
all
but
of
I'm
them?
like, no. My
Right.
thing is that I'm like, I mean, unless you're a huge artist already, people don't generally listen to a whole album. So I'm more in favor of the kind of releasing a single every month or so. And
Sweet.
but I am going to do an EP because I'm like I just keep doing singles, and I think an EP though is like a nice little balance of. I mean, I'm old school,
7
obviously.
songs?
Like I like the idea of having an album, but it's just not that realistic now.
Sure.
And I'd
Yeah.
rather just kind of gradually
Nice. You're gonna do the.
And we'll hope that it does well. Yeah.
And I've heard some of these songs and seen the music video. I was in a music video.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the final product. Did you? I didn't see the final.
No, I'm actually working on that tomorrow. But we just got a final mix of the song. It sounds very different and way better. So yes, Ryan is in a video with me,
Yep.
and so is Luke.
Yeah. Luke Flip.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Luke. That fucking guy.
Sounds like my ski book.
That fucking
Revelation
guy.
on the Slopes.
Fucking guy, dude.
Cool. Well, we're just about out of time. When I say out of time, meaning this is usually when we end.
Sweet.
We have 5 seconds.
5
Did we
seconds
do good?
left.
We weren't complaining too much, right? Were we bitching too much about the online world?
No.
Or you think we're okay?
I
think
know.
we're good.
I mean, why are you wondering about what you said? You shouldn't be.
I'm actually not concerned about what I said, to be honest. But I want to know that the listeners will be actually interested.
Sure.
That's more my concern. I'm like, people can get offended whatever they want from what I said.
Sure.
But did we not complain enough?
Did
Like,
not
were we
complain
complaining
enough?
too much?
I think we complained just the right amount.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that was just the right amount of.
And we added some like positive things to it, right? We were like, oh yeah, we're doing
Yeah,
this.
I
thing,
think
yeah,
that
cool.
was just the right amount of bitching. We get a knock on the door. Actually, you shouldn't say that. Actually, you shouldn't say that.
But I'm like, should we have done more bitching or less bitching? You know, like, did we have a good medium?
I think we had a good medium.
Let us know, everybody. Everybody,
If
just,
we had a good medium.
just tweet us something really hateful, whether you liked this episode or not.
And we'll just retweet it.
Yeah. And let's start a war.
Yeah, let's start an online war.
Freedom of text. All right. Well, thank you, Victoria.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad I got to finally do this.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is that looking at you guys right now, I feel like I'm just looking at the still image of the I'm sorry, Dad, the image that you guys have on
Yeah,
there, because I think
sure.
you guys like wearing the same outfits. And on this couch,
Basically, yeah. It's the same couch.
By the
it
way,
should just sit as a still frame.
I hate sitting here.
I figured you did because I was like, this is not how we usually sit. I'm always that guy. I'm always the Andy. What's his name? Andy Richter. I'm always just like sitting over there, and he's like Conan. He's always like, so what's up? What's going on?
You should have me there as if I'm like the couples therapist. You know?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
But I can't reach these things, so I have to stay hunched over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
I
I
get
get
you.
it.
Yeah.
You
All right,
you
well.
guys are doing a good job, is all I can say.
Thanks.
You guys
It's always
get gold
good
star.
when the guest says, you guys are doing a good job.
Are we? Okay, thanks. All right. Well, this was a fun app.
That was fun.
Fun ep of the
Fun EP.
pod.
Yeah.
And we usually close off by saying, I'm sorry, Dad. So wait, I'll go first. You go last.
Okay.
Brandon, you figure out the rest.
Oh.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm sorry, Dad. Oh, awkward. Wait.
I'm going last. I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
she
go
goes last. All right, I'll go. Wait, I fucked it up. I'm sorry. I'm happy, Dad. Sorry, Mom.
I'm sorry, Dad.
All right. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Oh, your voice is way more smoothing than ours.
Smoothing?
I'm sorry, Daddy.
Way more smoothing than ours?
Soothing. Oops.
I'm
Dumb.
sorry,
Fuck.
Dad.
Anyways.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'm terribly sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dads.
Sorry, Daddy.
Sorry, Daddy.
And Victoria as
Sorry, Daddy.
oh yes, we are finger blasting after all.
Oh, Daddy.
Fuck.
Sorry.
Shit.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
To the dark world outside. chase adventure till it's found. Then I stumble into your arms, wishing I could last forever. Don't remind me that I might miss you. Oh, I don't ever wanna go back to the real world outside. No one ever bring me back to the dark world outside. I don't wanna go back to the real world outside. No one ever bring me back to the dark world outside. I don't ever wanna go back to the real world outside. No one ever bring me back to the dark world outside.